Okay, we'll begin our session now. Welcome, good evening, all of you. Thank you for taking time out to attend this panel session. It's a very interesting and enlightening one, especially if you are a teacher, because we have today with us Alpa Nigam, and we were to have Mr. Imran Khan with us, but due to unavoidable circumstances, he has sent his apologies, and we also apologize on behalf of him to all of you. But I'm sure with Alpa Nigam with us, uh, you will learn a lot from her experiences, and as teachers, I'm sure you will be inspired by the work she has done and is doing, and about the challenges that she has faced. If you were to listen to that, I'm sure you would be, motivated, and you would go away from this panel with a lot of inspiration and positivity. So here is Miss Alpa Nigam. A brief introduction of her, a very brief one, because she has so much to her credit that I do not want to eat away the time. I would rather have her talk about herself and her journey. But in brief, she's the head of primary school Tiloli Gorakhpur in UP, and she is a Fulbright Fellow. And as part of her fellowship, as a research project, she developed the dyslexia screening tool at the University of Rochester. She has many awards to her credit, one of the major ones being the Nation Builder Award. She has also contributed a lot in terms of content. So her main contribution, that's a few that I, you know, can cite that she has contributed in the content development of NCRT and SCRT books. She has created ebooks for SCRT Uttar Pradesh, and she was a mentor for foundational literacy and numeracy for 7 states. She has trained thousands and thousands of teachers, and I'm so glad that she is there with us today to share her journey as a teacher from challenge to triumph. A very warm welcome to Ms. Alpa Nigam. And yes, we are all ears for you. So you could, add to whatever I have said, and you could, start sharing your journey, and we'll move ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. This is Alpa Nigam here, working as a head teacher in a government primary school of Uttar Pradesh. So, talking about my journey, I would like to share that my journey as a teacher began in February 2009. It was during this time that I witnessed the pathetic learning conditions of the children of my house help. The experience opened my eyes to the harsh realities faced by many children who can't afford the fees of private schools. So I realized that there was a significant need to make a difference in their lives. This realization actually ignited my passion for teaching, and I decided to pursue a career as a teacher in a government primary school. I believe that primary education is the foundation of learning, and if I could help build a strong base of knowledge for these children, they could achieve success in every sphere of life. So I see immense potential in these children, and it is my goal to nurture the potential through quality education. And I would like to share that I'm the third generation in my family to take up teaching as a profession. My grandmother and mother have been my source of inspiration, showing me the profound impact that education can have on individuals and communities. Actually, their dedication to teaching has motivated me to follow in their footsteps and contribute to the field of education. So they are my source of inspiration.
Yes, and yes, I can see that, that when you have a family of educationists, the passion just, glows out of you. So, yes, so we need to thank you know, your mother and your grandmother for what you are today. Okay. So, uh, if you could share some challenges, like, when you took up teaching. So now we know why you took up teaching, right? You had role models in your house. It, when you see you are from a small town, right? Tiloli, what I gather is it's not a big city or a big town, right? And you yourself said about, the condition, the pathetic conditions over there. So when you started your journey as a teacher, did you face any challenges in the school as a teacher? And what were those challenges that you faced?
Um, Talking about challenges, I could say that I have faced several challenges as a teacher, both personally and professionally. My struggle began at home, where my family was initially unsupportive of my decision to teach in a government primary school.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I was the third generation in my family who took teaching as a career, but they believed that I was made for some greater things, and that teaching in a primary school was a low profile job. So they thought that given my non-rural background, I would not be able to adjust to the environment of a government school, and that too rural, like Eastern UP school, because I am from Central UP. So those are totally different conditions, totally different cultures. The language, that was initially a big barrier for me. So they often suggested that teaching in a play school in Delhi would be far better for me, as they felt my standards would drop by working in a rural setting. However, I can say that after 2 years, my work began to gain recognition from various organizations, and that was when my family started to feel proud of my accomplishments. Gradually, their perspective began to change, and they recognized the value of the work I was doing in the rural school. Professionally, I encountered significant challenges as well, and I'm struggling till now. My school faced issues such as low enrollment, low attendance rates, and difficulties in retaining students. Uh, and if I talk about the learning levels of the students, they were also quite low. And I found that the guardians were not very supportive of the education process. These obstacles made it challenging for me to create a conducive learning environment and to ensure that each child received the education they deserve. So, despite these challenges, I remained committed to my role as an educator, believing firmly in the potential of every child and the importance of providing them with a strong educational foundation.
Right. So, with the conditions that you faced in the school, right? Did you get any help, any support, uh, for you to circumvent or bypass those, obstacles that you were facing in the school?
Actually, if I talk about bypassing the challenges, to bypass and work around the challenges I faced as a teacher, I dedicated myself to hard work and took several proactive steps. Like I initiated various committees within my school, such as PTAs, MTAs, and child parliaments. These committees played a crucial role in involving parents and the community in the educational process. I maintained regular contacts with parents after school hours to keep them informed and engaged in their children's education. And understanding the importance of a nurturing environment, I made the school child friendly by incorporating elements of art and craft, music, ICT, dance, and other creative activities. So, this approach not only made learning enjoyable for the kids, but also encouraged greater participation from the guardians also. So, recognizing the need of uh, um, the connection of the families to actually I can say that recognizing the needs to connect emotionally the families. I focused on making guardians literate after school, and as a result of this initiative, I have made literate 195 mothers so far, and
Wow.
I'm glad to share with you all that 8 of them have successfully completed their 10th grade.
Oh,
So,
congratulations to you and them.
thank you. And this achievement not only empowered the mothers, but also positively impacted the learning environment for their children. Additionally, I reached out to the community for support, which led to the establishment of our school library as a mini village library. And today it houses 11,000 books, providing valuable resources for both students and the community.
Fantastic. How did
Yeah.
you manage that?
Actually, this village library is run by my ex-students, and I got the funds for this library by fundraising. So I'll tell you later on.
Yes,
Through
very
fundraising, we have
interesting.
raised,
Yes.
yeah, through fundraising, we have raised 1,20,000 rupees. And we have bought so many books, and then some organizations came forward and donated some books. So, like this, we have organized and we established a mini village library in our village.
That's really, really admirable. You mentioned about, having your PTAs and other committees. So that is,
Mhm.
that is very much doable. You don't need funds for that. But you spoke about,
Yeah.
uh, uh, art and craft and other creative activities, music and
Mhm.
so on, which requires, some amount of financial aid. So how did you manage that? Did you get support from the
For
school or you got it for the school? What was it?
No, actually, I haven't received those. I can say those infrastructure from any officials or any department. Actually, I'm very grateful for some organizations who came forward to help me. And I'm deeply grateful for the support I received from various officials and community during my teaching journey as well. So I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my block, district, and state officials who never hesitated to allow me to go the extra mile. Because if they were reluctant, like I can't do this much amount of work with with my community, with my guardians of the students, or with my students in the school as well. So their encouragement and support provided me with the freedom to implement my plans without any hindrance. And I'm proud to say that some of these initiatives have now been adopted across the state. So this way, my officials supported me. Additionally, I reached out to the community for support due to resource constraints, which you were talking about. The response was overwhelming. Initially, I invested in my school, and after the recognition that I have received some from the newspapers, from the electronic media, and some other sources, community came along with me and they started some supporting me. Like we received a projector from the Rotary Club, which significantly enhanced our teaching methods. Then we also acquired some almirahs for our library through community contribution. Crowdfunding, which I have talked earlier, played a vital role in establishing our school library. And I have told you that it has been transformed into a mini village library. So this collaborative effort has created a nurturing environment for learning and has made a lasting impact on the educational landscape.
Uh, right. And uh, what what I gather from what you're saying is that initially you put in a lot of resources, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in terms of finance too, and
yeah,
right, so it was your initiative and to ensure that what you wanted for your school and for your students would be possible if only you, began that initial journey and invested not only where your skill is, but also financial investment on your part, which the others then, could see the result of your investment, of your ability, capability, your time, your effort, and the money that you have put in for a cause, which inspired and motivated the others also to come forward and help you. And yes, that is how it happens, So uh, I think there is this saying, no, uh, अकेला था और फिर कारवा.
Karma banta gaya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So that is what I can see has happened in your case. So
Yeah.
can you tell us something about your Fulbright fellowship, because it is not something that anybody or somebody, people just get that fellowship, because it's a very prestige fellowship. And how did you think of applying for that fellowship? What was your process, and what was your
Mhm.
journey with your fellowship, if you could share about that?
Yeah, actually, my Fulbright journey is very close to my heart, and I would like to share a personal story behind that. So, my Fulbright fellowship journey is deeply intertwined with a significant turning point in my life. Um, During a challenging period, I found myself suffering from profound depression, feeling the urge to escape my surroundings, and I attempted to end my life thrice. But an unexpected incident gave me a newfound courage, and I drew inspiration from a monkey and her baby, which reminded me of the strength and resilience inherent in all living beings. So, determined to change my life, I stopped all medication and began practicing yoga and painting and music. So, I still remember the day I filled out the application for Fulbright DI program. I was crying throughout the day, and it was in that moment that I realized that I needed to take control of my life. No one else could pull me out of this darkness, and it was only I who could help myself overcome my depression. So while searching online, I discovered that the deadline for the Fulbright program was fast approaching. So I spent the entire night filling out the application form, pouring my heart and soul into it. And each step of the selection process filled me with growing confidence and pride. Ultimately, the rest of the story is in front of you, which has led to some positive changes in my life since then. And the Fulbright Fellowship, I can say, became a ray of hope for me, and leading to transformative experiences and an opportunity to contribute to education in meaningful ways. So for this, we have undergone with the screening process, like they shortlisted our names through the online application. And after that, there was interview, and then we have to take the TOEFL test. So when I was shortlisted, I gained some motivation, I gained some confidence. And after that, when I was selected for the this interview, I was very much excited, and I felt that I couldn't do anything, but crossing each and every step gave me a sense of pride, a sense of achievement. So that was very special for me.
I would, I want to applaud you for, for your resilience, and for being so brave to, talk about your, darkest period of life and share your mental health journey on this live platform. Kudos to you, and hats off to you. I'm so
Thank you.
glad that you're out of it and you're here with us, all smile, sharing with us, glowing in your success. And I hope, you have only positivity and success, all the way through, no looking back into your past. Thank you so much for sharing this journey. I'm sure this is going to inspire a lot of people out here, because we are seeing the rise in, the number of cases of depression, and not everybody is as resilient and as brave as you. Uh, they continue to be in depression, and it's a very hard struggle. And you rightly said, it is you who has to decide and have that will and that belief in yourself that I can get out of this, and I can do well in life, and I can achieve a lot. And yes, you're right. And that is what we tell people who talk about being in depression or wallowing in self-pity, that it's it's for it's you who have to make that choice of whether you want to continue with your low feelings, or you want to be out of it. So yes, I mean, it's really very touching, and it really I'm sure, I'm falling short of words to express over here how I feel. uh, Back to your Fulbright fellowship. You could have taken any topic, yes, as your research project. So what was it that, made you think about a dyslexia screening tool? Was it something that you experienced when you were teaching your students, with your students, or was it something that, you heard of and you got curious and you wanted to explore?
So, my inspiration to develop the dyslexia screening tool came from
financially easier, no conversions are higher.
Hello, somebody is talking. If you could just switch off your video, audio, please.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, if I talk about inspiration, so my inspiration to develop the dyslexia screening tool came from my observations of the learning patterns of my students in my classroom. I noticed that many of them struggled to follow even simple instructions, and this raised my concerns about their learning needs. So, these experiences prompted me to delve deeper into understanding dyslexia and its impact on children's learning processes. So, I realized that early identification and intervention are crucial for helping these students succeed academically and build their confidence, because I am working in uh, early literacy skills since last 12 years. So I felt that if it is intervened at the crucial at the early stages, it can be cured. So this understanding motivated me to create a tool that could assist teachers in recognizing dyslexia symptoms early and provide the necessary support to those who need it. And the goal of the dyslexia screening tool is to ensure that every child receives the attention and resources they require to thrive in their educational journey, ultimately allowing them to realize their full potential.
Right. Yes. And what I love about your screening tool is that it is not just a screening tool, but it also, gives suggestions to the teachers about the intervention that they could carry out with the children who are at risk, who have been identified with learning challenges. So I'm sure we all, like me, everybody here is also curious to have a glimpse of your dyslexia screening tool, how it works, and what are the interventions that uh, can be carried out for those who have specific skill deficits. So if you could show us, and then we could talk, and then we could even have question. I'm sure there would be teachers here who may have questions about it. One thing that I would like to say over here is the screening tool is free, right, Miss Alpa?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it is free of cost along with remediation interventions. So Miss
Yeah.
Alpa, if you could just share and your screening tool, how it works, and uh, then we could discuss questions.
Before showing the tool, I would like to share the person who is behind that web-based tool, because I have developed the pen and paper tool. So I would like to share a story with you guys
Yeah,
about
sure.
him. Actually, the web-based tool was developed by my Fulbright fellow and my colleague from the National ICT Award. He was with me in the University of Rochester, and his name is Muhammad Imran Khan. He's from Alwar, and his support was instrumental in the development of the dyslexia screening tool during our time as Fulbright teachers at the University of Rochester. So when I initially developed my pen and paper tool, I discussed it with him and shared the challenges that teachers often encounter during the screening processes with these kind of tools. So recognizing the limitations of a pen and paper approach, he suggested creating a web version of the tool to enhance its accessibility and ease of use. So I thought that his insights were invaluable, and together we collaborated to transform the tool into a more effective resource for teachers. So, and our collaboration, actually our shared commitment to improving educational practices and our mutual experiences in the field have greatly enriched our collaboration on this project. So that I would like to mention here. That's why I have shared all
Yes.
this.
And I would just like to add for people who came in late that Mr. Mohammad Imran Khan, who was to be here with us today, unfortunately, due to unavoidable circumstances, he's not able to, participate with us. But Ms. Alpa Nigam is, sharing the web-based tool designed by him. The tool is designed by her, but the web-based is designed by Mr. Imran Khan. Yes, Ms.
Yeah,
Alpa.
actually, it was a pen paper tool. He converted the pen paper tool into this web-based tool.
Right.
So now I would like to share the tool with you. My screen is visible to all of you, or
Yes, it is visible. It's visible.
okay. So this is the tool. For this tool, we are going to start screening. Then there are some instructions for teachers. Here in the part 1, you can fill the details of the student. Like if I'm going to screen a child named Anita, age 8. Now I'm going to click on next. Here are some items related to the observable behavior of the students, and there are 11 areas related to the literacy part, and these are like reading, listening, speaking, decoding, print awareness, phonological awareness, then reading comprehension, reading fluency, word recognition, writing, context and meaning making. So these are the observable behavior of kids. If I'm going to select few of the items like this, let's see what happens. I'm going to submit it finally. Here you can see that an automated report is generated, and this report says that the child is at low risk. Here is an interpretation. and the interpretation says that the child score falls within a range where the likelihood of dyslexia is considered to be relatively low based on the assessment. Further monitoring may be beneficial, but immediate specialist attention may not be necessary. So here are some problematic areas like reading and decoding. Here you can find the suggested activities for the problematic areas. Like if we are going to click on story builders, so you can see that the activities that teachers can use with the children is there. And one thing about these activities is very impressive, that these activities are based on UDL. So this can be used with every child of the classroom. So this is an activity for developing the reading skills or for intervening with the children who are facing the reading difficulties. Then if we go on decoding, we can click on the activity. So the teachers will find the activities for all the areas. And as I have told you earlier that there are 11 areas. So the teachers are going to have an idea that how can they work with the students who are suffering from this kind of challenges, or who face these kind of challenges in the classroom. So these reports are downloadable. You can download the PDF. And what I have done in my school, I'm using this tool in my school as well. So when I came back from Rochester, I have started using this tool with 8 kids of my school. And initially, I have taken their baseline survey. Like I have taken this test 4 months back. And now I can say that they are a part of my classroom now. They understand the process of reading. They can take interest in flipping of the pages of the book, or they can understand simple instructions. So this is possible due to the kind of activities I'm using with those kids. So and if I'm going to download the report after my this 5 or 6 months, or I can say the end line test, so I can compare the results if the child is showing any significant changes in his or her reading patterns or in her learning patterns. So I will get an idea that this tool is working well. If not, then I can suggest, I can contact with the parents to get an advice, to get an expert advice. So this can be done with the students in the classroom. And in this way, we can compare the results also.
Right. So this what you have shown us, of low risk. So can
Yeah.
you show one of high risk? So if you could, just randomly, select lots of areas of difficulties and
Yeah.
we see how it.
Yeah, I can. So let me show you. I'm clicking all the areas. And for this, for this kind of screening, teachers can do it in simply 10 minutes, or even they can use this tool at home also if they want. Because all of the items are based on observable behavior. So as a teacher,
Right.
we
So
all know.
as a teacher, right. So if as a teacher, you're an observant teacher and you know each and every child, you don't need the child in front of you while you are, using the screening tool.
Yeah. So let me show you. Now the scale is showing that the child is at high risk.
Right.
and there is an interpretation of high risk. The problematic areas are there, then the suggestive activities are there.
Right. So if you
So the
could just,
teachers can,
if you could just scroll up to, the description of high risk, because I think that's important, what it shows.
okay,
So it is showing the child's score is in a range that raises concerns about the possibility of dyslexia. And immediate attention is recommended. It is strongly advised to consult a specialist for a thorough assessment and appropriate intervention. So this, I think, is really very important because, though it is a screening tool for dyslexia, it will also identify students who are not at risk for dyslexia, but who have, certain areas of concern coming in the way of their learning to read, write,
yeah.
spell, and so on. And those
Mhm.
students most probably would fall in low to moderate risk. But if you
Yeah.
have a student and, then your intervention strategies over there would, really help. But if you have
Mhm.
students who are in the high risk, then, the teachers have to take this really very, very seriously and, consult a specialist. So I like this thing about, the note that you have put in for the teachers, right?
Yeah, actually, this is for teachers and this is to guide teachers, this is to help teachers,
Right.
because as
Yes.
a teacher, I felt that in my state, IT teachers generally visit once in 2 months or once in a month. So that is not sufficient for these kind of kids
Right.
to deal with them. So I thought that what can be done is like this.
Right. Right. So, right. So, even whether the student is identified as low risk, moderate risk, or high risk, the teachers have to try everything, try out the suggestions for at least 3 to 6 months. And in
Yeah.
spite of that, like you said, you repeat the tool, right? So 6 months
Yeah.
to 1 year after, the teachers have tried all the interventions, the suggestions that are recommended. And if
Mm-hmm.
they find that the student is still at moderate to high risk, then it means that, specialist intervention becomes a necessary, and
Yeah.
referral for diagnosis also becomes important.
Important. Yeah.
Right, because we have a lot of uh, accommodations that are mandated by the Rights for Persons with Disability Act 2016. That if
Mm-hmm.
children, are identified with any kind of a disorder or disability, they need to get the help and support from the school and certain accommodations. So yes. So I would like you to share some of your experiences as a teacher in the classroom, like, how your approach in the classroom with your students, because you are working with children who are coming from, the lower socioeconomic strata, the underprivileged,
Mm-hmm.
community. How is it, you earlier mentioned about, low attendance, right? There would be problem
Mm-hmm.
even of, nutrition, uh,
Yeah.
the food, whether or not, they even eat breakfast and come to school or carry something
Mm-hmm.
to school. So these are some, practical hurdles that you face,
Yeah.
in addition to students who would also be facing a lot of learning challenges. And from what you are saying, I understand that most of them must be first generation learners too, right?
Yeah, actually, they were first generation learners, but as I told you earlier, that I have taught their parents, their
Right,
mothers as well. So
right.
now they are getting conducive environment in their homes.
Yes, yes.
So that
So,
is not a problem now, but
yes,
initially that was a big problem for me. That's why I thought of this thing that I can educate them after school. And usually a teacher gives 5 hours or 6 hours a day to school, but that time I devoted 10 hours a day, and that was from 2009 to 2016. 16, 17, I must say. And
So
after that,
how did you manage? I mean, like you were giving double the time. So it must have taken a toll on your health, I'm sure, in some way, because it's, teaching is mentally exhausting. And when you're mentally exhausted, it takes a toll on your physical health. So you must have done a lot of things to keep yourself physical healthy, if you could share that. Because a lot of, teachers say that we don't have the time, we have to go home, we have to attend to the needs of our family, and it's too tiring after we have taught. And especially if you are a primary school teacher, which you are, right, you have
Mhm.
been. So if you could share how you managed all this, kept yourself physically healthy, mentally strong.
Actually, you know what? I feel that my kids are my source of inspiration. In school, when I'm with my students, I never feel like tired, or I never feel any kind of ailment with my students. Even if I'm not physically or mentally fit, I used to go to school, because when I'm with kids, I am happy. I'm just joyful. So my my strength, my my motivation, my inspiration are my students. And keeping me fit, actually, I used to perform some meditation, and meditation in the form of painting also. So that thing was uh, used in my I can say my difficult times also. And mm, yoga, music, and painting took me out of depression. So that is still continued.
Right. uh so we still have some time, around
Mhm.
13 minutes. And if people out there, if you have any questions for Miss Alpa, please, you can put it in the chat box, and we'll see if we can, how many questions we can attend to before we move ahead. So if there are any questions for Miss Alpa regarding whatever she has shared with you, her journey as a teacher, her journey as a Fulbright fellow, the dyslexia screening tool that she has developed, uh, just feel free to ask. Okay, so question from Dia Basu is, what is the age limit of the screener?
6 to 12 years.
6 to 12 years of age. So that would be first
Yeah.
standard to sixth standard, right? 6 or 7 years, seventh standard. Okay. Any other questions? Some? No questions? Okay. Any remarks, any comments if there are no questions for Miss Alpa? No, nobody has any questions for you, Miss Alpa. So, uh, so I always say, when there are no questions, either, they have understood everything that you have said. You have been so clear that they don't have any questions for you, or they haven't understood anything at all, so they don't have any questions for you.
Yeah, there are only two conditions
Yeah, these
for
are the
that.
only two conditions. Either they have understood everything, or they
Yeah,
have not understood
or they have
anything.
not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there is this question from Divya Balgi. She's asking, where can we access the tool?
Okay, so the tool is available on, you can go to your browser, and you just can type bit.ly/dyslexia tool.
So if
I
you could
will
put it in the
share it.
chat box, if you can just
Yeah,
put it in the chat.
I'm going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Alpa is sharing it in the chat box, the link to the tool. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's free to access. So those who have asked it,
Yeah.
yes, and another question from Dia Basu: what accommodations are students in the school getting for dyslexia? So she has this question that in your school, uh, you know, are students getting accommodations for dyslexia? So this would be, yours is only a primary school, right?
Yeah.
Up to
It's not a
grade,
special school. Yeah.
up to grade 5.
Grade 5.
Yes. So are there any accommodations given? So once the students have a certificate of dyslexia, what are the kind of accommodations that your school gives these students?
Actually, you know what? In our state, we are not having any kind of screening for dyslexia or for this kind of learning disability.
Right,
We only have a checklist kind of thing, but that is only screening tool. No intervention process is involved after screening. That's what I was talking, that IT teachers used to come uh, in 2 months or in 1 month, and that are they are just visiting for 1 hour a day.
right,
So that is not sufficient for a kid who is suffering from specific learning disability or any kind of disability.
right. So in terms of, so like in Maharashtra, uh,
Mm-hmm.
students, if they have a certificate stating that they have dyslexia, then they get,
Mm-hmm.
extra time. In the primary classes, they get a reader. There is oral
Mm-hmm.
evaluation. They get spelling errors. If they are writing their own paper, marks are not cut for spelling errors. And
Mm-hmm.
in the higher classes, of course, they get a writer, reader. They can, they can choose alternate subjects in place of maths and science.
Mm-hmm.
And, many other accommodations or provisions, some call provisions, some call them concessions. So from what you are saying is that there is no certifying body itself present over there. So when there
Yeah.
is no certification, the question of accommodations is a big question mark,
Yeah,
because
is a big question mark.
right, right.
Yeah.
So like you you are using the screening tool, you are providing
Mm-hmm.
intervention. Now,
Yeah.
in spite of that, there would be children who would need some kind of support. So, what is
Yeah.
the support that your students get, uh, if they are really struggling with reading and writing? Is
Mm-hmm.
there, though they don't have a certificate, so are there any, provisions available
Um,
for them?
if I talk about my state government, then I can say no. But if I talk about me, myself, and my PLC members, actually, I forgot to mention that I have a professional learning community of 29 teachers, and they are working in Gorakhpur. And actually, we share a lot of teaching practices and best practices that are being used in their schools. So this tool is being used by them in their schools. So I can say that we are dealing with such kind of students, and we used to support them. Like we used to give them extra time. We used to make an emotional connect with them. So, and moreover, we used to motivate them by acknowledging their work, what kind of work they are doing. Like if they are writing a story based on keywords, then I usually don't care about the spelling mistakes they are doing or the kind of letters they are making. I usually ignore that. So their creativity is more meaningful, more valuable for me. That's why I have oriented their parents also about this kind of difficulty that a child is facing in the school, and I shared the activities with the parents also that can be done in their homes. So the student who is having this kind of difficulty is getting 24/7 support, because in their homes they are getting support from their parents, and in their school they are getting support from the teacher. So this thing is done in 29 villages. So right now, because I came back in the month of January, and this is the 10th month. So uh, initially it took time to realize that whether the tool is working well. So for that purpose, I initially taken the test of my kids, and I have used the tool in my school only. And after the 2 or 3 months, I have shared the tool with my PLC members. So now they are using in their school, and we can say that we are accommodating these kids in our school.
Right.
We are helping them out.
Right. And that's very important. You don't need a certificate to help children,
Yeah.
right? You don't need a diagnosis to help children. That all
Yeah.
is required, at the board level. At the school level, if you see a child struggling, as a teacher, automatically that feeling of, doing something for the child should arise in you, and, the need to help and support the child and to understand the child. So it's really very commendable what you're doing. And you're not just, you've not just restricted it to your school. What you have done is you have reached out to the 29 other,
Yeah.
schools too. So very, very commendable. And we have Dinaz Wadia, who is congratulating you, who has mentioned that you have done a commendable job in developing the tool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dinaz. Uh, yes. So let me see if there are any more questions. Okay. I think that, okay, Anjum Barodawala has a question. I think, Diya, your question has been answered about classroom accommodations post-screening. Anjum's question is, are you thinking of the possibility of having it in different languages?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we are working on Hindi, and we are thinking to develop in different languages. So we are working on it, and maybe within a month or two, we will be able to share in different languages.
Okay. So first is the Hindi one in the pipeline, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
So when would the Hindi be ready for use, the Hindi tool?
Actually, it's completed on as a pen paper tool, and it will be developed as a web-based tool by Imran sir, as I shared earlier. So
Right.
maybe when he will be comfortable doing that, we'll do that.
Okay. All right. That's really good news.
Thank
And
you.
we have Swati Kohli asking, is there for analyzing college students? So Swati, this I can answer. As of now, we don't have, there is no tool for college students, but there is tool up to 12th standard. If you are talking about 11th and 12th as junior college, then yes, there are tools uh, by UNESCO MGIP, but they're still in the making. And there's another question by Diya. Do you think as a next step you will be sharing this tool with the state government? That is a question for you about sharing the tool with the state government, and how do you see that as a possibility?
Actually, I have already shared it in the month of January,
Okay.
and they are working on it. So I can say that it's in the pipeline also. There also, it's in the pipeline.
So all the best, and something
Thank
that
you.
comes from the government really, really, is a big, huge help in spreading awareness and ensuring that, I would say all the students who are in need get, the
Yeah,
benefit from it.
yeah.
Okay, we have Ramiza Khan who is applauding you. She's saying that your development of this innovative screening tool is truly commendable. Its ability to identify students with difficulties and provide targeted recommendations and techniques for improvement makes it an invaluable resource. Thank you, Ramiza.
Thank you.
And Kalpana Thakur says that she had joined late earlier as she was listening on YouTube, and then she joined us for the live webinar. She's also said, well done to you. We have Greta saying that it's been an enlightening session, the journey from darkness to enlightenment, illuminating and transforming the lives of so many. Thank you, Greta. Yes, congratulations from Dia. And yes, so it's 8 o'clock on time.
Yeah.
And, I would like you to end this session with a message for all teachers out there, like you, like you, the other teachers. What message do you have for them?
Actually, I feel that as a teacher, I would like to say that embrace the uniqueness of every child in your classroom by fostering an inclusive and atmosphere and adapting your teaching methods to meet their individual needs. And I know that your dedication and support can make a profound difference in their learning journey. So I just want that only.
Thank you. Very apt and very true, Miss Alpa. Thank you so much. It was a really a very, enlightening session and a very engaging session. Thank you for the tool, sharing the tool, and most importantly, making the tool freely available for anybody and everybody to use it. I think that's really fantastic. And not just stopping at English, but also, developing in other languages. Thank you so much, and congratulations on all your achievements and awards. And thank you all the participants here for being with us for this 1 hour and for all the questions that you suddenly started asking us. Thanks a lot, because the questions are what makes the session all the more interesting and engaging. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.
I would like to thank you as well for inviting me to share my journey, to share my learnings, what I have achieved till now. And I love to share a lot with the teachers, because if we are going to share our best practices, our learnings, our classroom techniques, many schools, many classrooms are going to change. So I love that. And
Absolutely. And it was really, a pleasure. And we were like really thrilled when both you and Imran immediately said yes for the session. So it has been a pleasure and privilege to have you with us. Thank you so much. And yes, we will see when, Mr. Imran can take time out. We would like to have a session with him, and maybe both of you again, where both of you can share your journey together in the teaching field. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody.
That will be our pleasure, and that will be an honor for both of us.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good evening and a good Sunday. And please, we have sessions happening tomorrow. Please look out for our sessions. We have a nice, good panel tomorrow at 4:30, where we have Yash and Juhi, who are young adults in their mid-20s, sharing their journey from challenge to triumph. And we have a parent, Mrs. Anuradha Srinivasan, who is going to share her journey as a parent of a daughter with dyslexia. And Mrs. Kate Karawala, who's the president of MDA, herself a parent of 2 sons with dyslexia who are, well into their 40s, early 40s. She would be moderating the session. I'm sure there will be a lot of learning for everybody from their journeys. And after that, at 6 o'clock, we have another session, which I'll be moderating. And Dia, who has been asking some questions, is one of the panelists, along with Shubhashri Mukherjee from First Step Remedial, which is on classroom strategies. So again, a lot of learning for the teachers who are here. The classroom strategies is something that you definitely will benefit from. So yes, I think it's now time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you.